Ireland. This is a video here someone suggested to me. It's from Brit Alert News. It's called Migrant Hotel Collapses in Northern Ireland as over 100,000 people protest. You know, they're having mass protests, same as here in Ireland. It's amazing to see.
Attention, attention. This is a case warning. Starts immediately and Warren will be here.
We are bracing now for a fourth night of protests in Northern Ireland. In connection with the incident, two 14-year-old boys have appeared in court charged with attempted rape. The charges were read to the teenagers by a Romanian interpreter.
The United Kingdom woke.
Of course, Roman gypsies getting involved in these crazy things. We have the same here in Ireland. In the City West Hotel recently, we had a Somalian man or East African man who brutally sexually assaulted a 10-year-old Irish girl.
To fire, Ballymena burned first, a town of 30,000. Now the spark for 100,000 marching through Northern Ireland. Flames over Belfast, water cannons in Portadown, a girl attacked, two foreign teens charged, and a nation exploding in silence. Yet in London, Prime Minister Keir Starmer dismissed it as racism. His Home Office sent statements not help. Westminster stayed dry while the North drowned in its own streets.
Keir Starmer is an absolute clown, guys. Ballymena, of course, I reported on actually what was happening in Ballymena a few weeks ago. It was a disaster, guys.
From the alleys of Ballymena to the bridges of Derry, the message was one line long. We've lost our country and we're taking it back. In Westminster, the debate began. One member of Parliament rose to his feet, demanding action, not excuses.
This is a border security crisis, but it is also a public safety crisis, especially for women and girls. Many nationalities crossing, for example Afghans, commit up to 20 times more sex offences than average.
While Parliament...
It's unreal that we're hearing that in England, because in England, we know, guys, like, they're able to track statistics of people coming in. They have a complete disaster. Afghanistani people coming from the Serengeti, the flipping African plains. They're coming from just places where they don't even have running water, no electricity. It's a disaster compared to Ireland.
Debated compassion and control, a new order had already been signed. Keir Starmer approved the continued transfer of asylum seekers into Northern Ireland. Another 3,200 before Christmas, no line on security, no pound in emergency aid. Within the hour, the Belfast Telegraph revealed the cost. Local councils now fully liable for hotel bills and policing overtime. £2.4 million a month in Ballymena alone. The directive carried Starmer's signature. When pressed in the chamber, a minister replied without blinking, "London decides, you implement." That was the moment the North understood this wasn't representation, it was management by decree. By nightfall, Northern Ireland stopped waiting. What began as anger became ignition. Belfast burned, Portadown erupted, and the smoke was visible from 20 miles out.
I remember when this happened, guys. I remember I was reporting on this Ballymena, terrible Portadown. All these different places in Northern Ireland are kicking off. You know, it's a seriously tense situation up in the north now.
Collapsed under bricks and flares while chants of "send them back" rolled through the estates like thunder. Starmer's order had reached its consequence. Hotels turned fortresses, local streets, war zones. In one night alone, 5 towns fell under emergency curfew. Over 300 arrests, 41 officers injured, and property damage topping £8 million. The Home Office called it contained disorder, but the people knew better. It was rebellion. A leaked police memo told the truth. We are outnumbered, outfunded, and out of trust. Officers refused to push further, some laying down shields as mothers screamed for their sons. One veteran in Belfast shouted into the camera, "We fought the IRA for this land. Now we fight our own government for it." That clip hit 10 million views before being deleted.
Wow.
At dawn, the fires dimmed, but...
So yeah, they're suppressing the news as well in Northern Ireland. That guy said we fought the IRA. They're fighting my people in the north. Now they're fighting these illegal migrants. Now they're fighting their own government. It's just like a one big shit show in Northern Ireland.
And not the fury. Burned cars, boarded hotels, and a silence that sounded like judgment. London's broadcast showed none of it, just studio lights and scripted calm. In the north, people saw something different. They saw the moment the line snapped between ruler and ruled. And in the ashes of Ballymena and Portadown, a single truth rose with the smoke. Britain wasn't divided anymore, it was waking up. Inside number 10, there were no arguments, only instructions. By dawn, the Prime Minister's casualty report covered the entire region. 5 towns under curfew, total losses exceeding £112 million, and more than 100 officers injured. He didn't call a press conference, he called a blackout. Every department was ordered to stabilise the narrative.
A blackout is when they're not allowing any media to actually cover the footage and what's going on in the country. They're not allowed to cover anything that's happening because they will actually lose the narrative, guys. And the media in Ireland and the Republic of Ireland and the Northern Ireland is ridiculous, guys. They're completely corrupt.
BBC editors received scripts pre-approved by the Home Office. The word riot was erased, replaced with local disorder influenced by misinformation.
Of course, they label it disinformation, misinformation, but in reality, the mainstream media is the most corrupt organisation ever. The BBC, the RTE, News Talk, Virgin Media, every one of these mainstream media platforms is corruption at the highest order.
Police were told to file no images without clearance. Even the Met's encrypted channels were rerouted through London servers. One senior civil servant leaked a single line from the cabinet log. Public sentiment, hostile, strategic priority, control perception. But outside Westminster, perception was already lost.
Yeah, they've already lost perception because now we have apps like X, we have all these freedom of speech apps, even YouTube is opening up. You're allowed to speak your mind a lot more, so they're losing that actual perception. They're losing the narrative that they've created over the last 100 years. Everybody now is aware of what's going on, the BS that's happening.
Northern Ireland had become a mirror, showing Britain what it refused to see. Communities weren't divided by race anymore, but by truth and silence. At 10:45 a.m, the Prime Minister signed a confidential directive, Operation Northlight. It authorised mass content removal, warrantless arrests under public safety risk, and restricted media travel north of the border.
And of course, we know in Northern Ireland and in England, they've actually arrested 12,000 people per year.
To the public, nothing changed. Screens still glowed, anchors still smiled, but the news had gone hollow. Downing Street declared the crisis contained. It wasn't containment, it was concealment. And for the first time, the United
100%.
Kingdom feared not the flames, but the light. It started with one file at 2:17 a.m. A Cabinet Office document marked Operation Northlight Classified leaked online. Within hours, it burned across Britain. Inside were journalist watch lists, social media takedowns, orders for mass content suppression, and one line stamped in red. Authorised by the Prime Minister, the Home Office screamed fake. Metadata proved otherwise, then a whistleblower surfaced, a communications officer from Belfast. Her statement was one sentence long. If the truth burns, let it burn everywhere. By morning, Northlight trended worldwide. Anchors vanished mid-broadcast. Police raided Belfast newsrooms. Every arrest confirmed the document was real. Westminster said control. Britain said treason. And for the first time, the government wasn't fighting disinformation. It was fighting discovery. No orders, no leaders, just rage turned silent. Across Belfast, blank white signs filled the streets. Nothing written, everything meant. Teachers stopped classes, veterans turned their medals upside down, BC staff walked off air, 1 million screens went dark in protest, the government called it sabotage, but the sabotage was theirs against the people who paid for truth.
Yeah, they're not allowing the truth, they're censoring everybody. Of course this is going to happen. The UK is the most tyrannical government in the entire world, guys, apart from Ireland. I mean, they're super flipping censorship. They're super heavy with censorship. They hate any sort of alternative narrative. It's ridiculous.
At noon, the first image broke through the censorship. A police officer removing his helmet, saluting the crowd. "We serve the people," he said, "not the protocol." That clip reached
We serve the people, not the protocol. And that clip reached 48 million views. So the truth is getting out there now on X, you know.
48 million views before deletion and 300 millions after re-uploads. No chance, no riots. Just refusal. A nation unplugged itself from power, and power for the first time went dark. Parliament met behind armed gates, half the benches empty, the Speaker's gavel echoed over silence outside the chant, built like thunder. Resign, answer, now markets crashed. £6 billion erased in a day, the pound hit a decade low, foreign embassies withdrew staff, Starmer appeared on camera, pale, cornered, voice trembling. He called the leaks foreign interference. But Britain had already identified its enemy, her, and it wasn't abroad. At 1742, the Home Secretary resigned.
Good.
At 1803, defence followed. At 1900, the streets outside Westminster stood still, not shouting, just waiting. When the lights in number 10 went dark, no one cheered. Someone whispered, London's lost the north. And for the first time it felt true. They came at dawn. Thousands from every county walking north in silence. Veterans, miners, mothers, priests. No banners, no chants. Only flags folded in half. Symbols of loyalty betrayed. Police.
You know, as much as the North hates Ireland and as much as that's their divide, it's great to see the North pushing back against their government as well. Like, everybody in Europe is in this boat together, to be perfectly honest. You know, obviously, I'm living in Galway, the Republic of Ireland, but to see this pushback in the North is just amazing, honestly.
Didn't stop them. Some joined. Convoys from Glasgow and Leeds brought supplies. Farmers cleared roads so people could walk. It wasn't chaos anymore, it was purpose. At noon, 500,000 filled Belfast. Rain fell, no one moved. A single speaker played the anthem. When the line came, send her victorious, it was sung as warning, not worship. Cameras panned from faces to flag.
That's funny, guys. Obviously, I don't even know the flipping Queen's, national anthem, the British national anthem, but it's great to see them standing up, guys. This is incredible.
And for once, Britain didn't look divided, it looked awake. Day 7. The palace surrounded, barricades gone, crowds silent, waiting. Inside, MPs shouted through fear. No one wanted to be the last loyalist. At 9:27, the motion was read. This House no longer recognises the authority of the Prime Minister. Applause thundered from outside, not within. The King's address followed. National reconciliation. Too late. Starmer's motorcade crawled through the rain. Windows blacked out, faces pale behind glass. Downing Street gates closed at 2000 hours. The country didn't celebrate, it exhaled. For the first time in a century, Britain had to change government without consent and without permission. Morning came quiet. No headlines, no speeches, just a nation staring at itself and recognising the reflection. In Belfast, murals covered burn marks. In Derry, candles still burned on wet cobblestones. In London, the silence of power had become the voice of the people. Great Britain, not broken, only unheard, was speaking again. And this time, no government could mute it. This is Brit Alert News. If you stand for truth, subscribe now.
Let's go, guys. Check out Brit Alert News. Absolutely amazing show right there. It's great to see that these people are standing up, guys. You know, you want to see everybody in their own place to stand up. Obviously, it would be great to see a united Ireland once again, okay, because the North has been separated for quite some time. The British still own it. But before that can happen, guys, we want to see all these flipping illegals getting kicked out. We want to see a country that is able to push out these illegals and push back against their government. I love you guys all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for just €3 per month. Can help really support me so I can help support you guys push back against the stupid woke Irish mainstream media and everybody in between. I'll see you guys in the next one.